Preface of Treatise on Light. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Availle in October 2012. Treatise on Light, in which are explained the causes of that which occurs in reflection and in refraction, and particularly in the strange refraction of Iceland crystal, by Christiaan Huygens, rendered into English by Sylvanus B. Thompson. Preface. I wrote this treatise during my sojourn in France 12 years ago, and I communicated it in the year 1678 to the learned persons who then composed the Royal Academy of Science, to the membership of which the King had done me the honour of calling me. Several of that body who are still alive will remember having been present when I read it, and above the rest those among them who applied themselves particularly to the study of mathematics, of whom I cannot cite more than the celebrated gentlemen Cassini, Römer, and de la Hire. And although I have since corrected and changed some parts, the copies which I had made of it at that time may serve for proof that I have yet added nothing to it save some conjectures touching the formation of Iceland crystal, and a novel observation on the refraction of rock crystal. I have desired to relate these particulars to make known how long I have meditated the things which I now publish, and not for the purpose of distracting from the merit of those who, without having seen anything that I have written, may be found to have treated of like matters, as has in fact occurred to two eminent geometricians, Messrs. Newton and Leibniz, with respect to the problem of the figure of glasses for collecting rays when one of the surfaces is given. One may ask why I have so long delayed to bring this work to the light. The reason is that I wrote it rather carelessly in the language in which it appears, with the intention of translating it into Latin, so doing in order to obtain greater attention to the thing. After which I proposed to myself to give it out along with another Treatise on Dioptrics, in which I explain the effects of telescopes and those things which belong more to that science. But the pleasure of novelty being past, I have put off from time to time the execution of this design, and I know not when I shall ever come to an end of it, being often turned aside either by business or by some new study. Considering which I have finally judged that it was better worth while to publish this writing, such as it is, than to let it run the risk, by waiting longer, of remaining lost. There will be seen in it demonstrations of those kinds which do not produce as great a certitude as those of geometry, and which even differ much therefrom, since whereas the geometers prove their proposition by fixed and incontestable principles, here the principles are verified by the conclusions to be drawn from them, the nature of these things not allowing of this being done otherwise. It is always possible to attain thereby to a degree of probability which very often is scarcely less than complete proof. To wit, when things which have been demonstrated by the principles that have been assumed correspond perfectly to the phenomena which experiment has brought under observation, especially when there are a great number of them, and further, principally, when one can imagine and foresee new phenomena which ought to follow from the hypothesis which one employs, and when one finds that therein the fact corresponds to our prevision. But if all these proofs of probability are met with in that which I propose to discuss, as it seems to me they are, this ought to be a very strong confirmation of the success of my inquiry, and it must be ill if the facts are not pretty much as I represent them. I would believe, then, that those who love to know the causes of things, and who are able to admire the marvels of light, will find some satisfaction in these various speculations regarding it, and in the new explanation of its famous property, which is the main foundation of the construction of our eyes, and of those great inventions which extend so vastly the use of them. I hope also that there will be some
Sample complete. Ready to continue?